time for viewer mail.
Good.
And we have mail.
Good.
This is from Sarah in Wisconsin. And Sarah says, I saw a story about how to erase $70,000 in debt in 1 year. But it doesn't look realistic for me. Did you see it, and what do you think?
Thank you, Sarah, for your question. You can send your questions to doug@riskandrewardtv.org, and I will do my best to answer your questions, too. Sarah, no, I didn't see the story originally. I saw you mentioned it. I looked it up online and found it. It's in a fairly prominent national publication. You can probably find various versions of it online. And I don't want to put a link to it. I don't want to promote it because I really I don't like the story at all.
You don't?
I don't. I like the story at all. So there's a couple things. First of all, this happened in 2006, 2007. So that was in the height of the...
Oh, when anyone could make money.
When anyone could make money. They increased their income, which is great. They decreased their spending and so on in the height of the boom. So that's one thing. So the lesson there, of course, is watch the dates when people say they did something and then tie it into the economy then, because it was really easy to make a lot of money in tech stocks, but it was 1999 when you did it. So think about it in those terms. The second thing is it was for two people and they were making $140,000 a year, and they said they lived on $40,000 of it.
Well, that's a pretty good income there.
Yeah, so that's nice income, $140,000, and they were able to save 70 of it or half of it, and then only live on 40. Well, $40,000 a year isn't too bad to live on. I mean, you're not eating just bread and water. That's about 29% of their gross income they were living on. Well, what if, Sarah, and I don't know how much you earn, but let's say you had a more moderate income of, say, $50,000, and you tried to live on the same 29% of your income, what would you have to live on? Well, I did the math ahead of time because I couldn't do this in my head, so don't think I'm making this up. It's $14,500.
Now that I couldn't live on.
That you're not going to live on very easily anyway, and even if you did, you wouldn't be saving as much money as they were saving. So the fact that they had high incomes, or at least moderately high incomes, maybe not, New York Yankee money, but they had high incomes for average people, for most people, and so it was easier for them to save. Now, if you dig a little deeper, and of course I always try to push critical thinking here, if you look a little deeper, the person who wrote this and put this story out there has started a blog. And their blog has...
It's a blog promotion.
It's a little bit of a promotion. Their blog has lots of ads and lots of stories about how to make money and how to get out of debt that lead to links where people are selling you things and dragging you down these lines.
So they want you to spend money to save money.
Of course. So just think about it in terms of the standard rule, and I've said this many, many times, if it's too good to be true, it's not true. And so while this might be true, they might have done it. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying it won't apply to everyone, and it's quite the attention-grabbing headline. So it's no wonder that you didn't, or that you found it. But so what you should do, because this doesn't help you, what you should do, the first thing you should do is, if you're actually in debt or falling into debt, is stop spending and try to stop the damage. So, the old saying is that when you're in a hole, stop digging. I think that's the first thing that everybody needs to do. And then once you're past that point, or when you start to get to that point, then start doing the math yourself. Do a balance sheet, do a cash flow statement, figure out what changes you need to make to start digging your way out, and then plan on digging your way out so your life doesn't go, into a shambles, and you try to live on $14,000 a year.
And what's your takeaway?
So the takeaway here is money is stored work, and debt is future work that you've already spent. So the simple answer to get out of debt is to work more and spend less. If that doesn't work for you, then maybe you shouldn't go into debt in the first place.